Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, one of the game's coolest anti-cavalry units takes on one of the game's coolest, well, cavalry units as Mr. Yo, playing as the Italians in blue, prepares to take on the Viper, playing as the Lithuanians in yellow. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today, because I think it is a pretty damn cool one. The Italians, to start with, a cost-cutting civilization. Their university technologies are cheaper, advancing to the next age is cheaper, and their gunpowder units are, that's right, you got it, cheaper. Now, using all their saved resources, the Italians can field two unique units. The first, the Genoese crossbowman, the Ninja Turtle of Age of Empires, pretty decent foot archer with a good attack bonus against cavalry. And the second is the Condottiero, a quick-moving, tanky infantry unit with not only a massive attack bonus against gunpowder units, but also added bonus armor against certain gunpowder units. Now, to make their unique units even tankier on the battlefield, all Italian foot archers except for skirmishers and their Condottieri can all be upgraded to get extra +1/+1 armor. And starting in Imperial Age, well, you can start training Condottieri out of your barracks. Unlike the Huns, unlike the Goths, you don't need to actually research anything specific, any unique technology. The second you hit Imperial, that feature is right there and available to you. Now, you might want to be spamming your units against the Viper here, playing as the Lithuanians, a civilization that likes to focus on their heavy cavalry. Their knights, their cavaliers, their paladins all get a free attack boost for every single relic that they collect, all the way up to a maximum of 4 relics for a free +4 attack. We'll see if we even get to relics if the Viper can't put a leash on these deer. Man, are they stubborn. By the way, the free attack boost from the relics does also apply to their unique unit, the Latus. This is a heavy cavalry unit whose attack actually ignores enemy armor, making it one of the, if not the, most deadliest medium to heavy cavalry units in the game. And to gather relics, get this free attack boost ASAP. Lithuanian monasteries do work 20% faster than normal, so you can't start pumping out monks a little bit quicker than everyone else. And to support your armies on the battlefield, Lithuanian spearman line units and skirmishers not only move faster, but they can also be upgraded to get extra armor, much like the non-skirmisher foot archers of the Italians. Now, to build a robust economy, support your army, get your units across the map, killing and basically causing as much mayhem as possible. Every single town center that you get for the Lithuanians does give you 100 food for free. You'll have noticed, maybe not, in the top right of your screen that the Viper did start with 300 food compared to the usual 200, and the Lithuanian settlement can be harder to raid since they can upgrade their town centers to get +3 range, which does make them outrange a lot of mangonels in that stage of the game, in the Castle Age and so forth. And by the way, unless I'm mistaken, the Lithuanians are the only civ in the game who can actually increase the range of their town center. It's not like Fletching, Bodkin, Bracer. Those, I believe, increase the attack, but not the range. Town centers are pretty much arrested development at the 6-tile range. I think somebody in the comments let me know if I'm right or wrong, that the Lithuanians are the only civ in the game that can actually do something about that range, get it up to 9 with that +3 hill forts upgrade in the Castle Age. Those are the two civilizations. Like I said, potentially some problems for the Lithuanians, as powerful as their units are. And don't forget, the Lithuanians are one of the only two civs next to the Poles who can replace their hussars with winged hussars. But unlike the Pole winged hussar that does trample damage, or I guess could be upgraded to do trample damage, nothing particularly special about the winged hussar, except, of course, it's better metrics and better stats, but no civ unique feature or anything of that nature. Plus, the Lithuanians are also missing blast furnace, which makes its attack a little lackluster. That being said, we do have a battle of perhaps some foot archer extra armor versus some skirmisher extra armor. The elite skirmisher of the Lithuanians is quite possibly... One second before I finish that thought. We've got a turkey heist. Gobble, gobble, says the Viper, as he teefs a couple of... a couple of Michael Jackson turkeys. Hee hee. Oh, he's not done yet. He's really putting on a show for us. This is a real showman turkey here. But the Viper, being a good guy, sending those the 200 food to Mistrio. As I was saying, the Lithuanian skirmisher, my goodness, with hill forts. No, my goodness, not the hill fort. Tower shield is the name of that upgrade. They do come potentially with 10 pierce armor, which makes them pretty much invincible against a lot of archer units. I'm also not sure why the Dark Age town center overlay is being shown on top of the Feudal Age overlay. What is happening here? Oh my goodness, this game. We'll see in 6 seconds if the same thing happens to the Lithuanian, but as both players know, hit the next age, a good time for this is so weird. Oh, Age of Empires, you never fail to disappoint, whether it's moonwalking turkeys or suiciding units that want to jump off the edge of the world and join the StarCraft franchise instead, or maybe teleporting units who want to join the Star Trek Enterprise. You never fail to disappoint. Poke in the ass, poke in the ass. No, Scout's a little bit too fast. Anyway, I'm gonna be quiet and go and review where the resources are. Let's first of all take a look at the attack path between the two bases. Pretty much A to B, open space with the relic. Speaking of, before we even look at the base, before I do the thing that I was going to do, before I did the thing that interrupted the thing, let's take a look at where the relics are located for the Viper, because when you're playing Lithuanians, Aztecs, Burgundians, any civ with any kind of relic boost, always very interesting to see where the relics are. One relic to the right of his base that he, I believe, is going to discover. No, that is very sour. Another relic in the center position, another relic to the left of his base, and then the other 2 relics are flanking, it looks like, Mr. Yo's base to the bottom here. A bit of an army being put together here for the Viper, and let's take a look at the movement speed. 1.1 compared to the 1, and 0.99, I believe. No, my apologies, 1.06. So let's see the bases real quick. Extra gold off campus, unknowingly placed to the front, but both primary resources to the rear of the base. Extra stone and gold to the top off campus as well. The Viper is trying to do a bit of a wall off, not too serious about it just at the moment. And he's trying to stop those scouts from penetrating any further into his base, getting any kind of vision. Primary stone for Monsieur to the back, primary gold. The Viper sees it very exposed to the front. He's got extra stone and gold to the top left, extra gold to the right. And I've mentioned this a few times in the last couple of days. We've been seeing a lot more rune stones than Arabia. And can you see why? Compare this coverage and this openness to rune stones, where the forests are a lot closer and a lot thicker and juicier. And you can see why the players prefer. Although in this case, the other feature of rune stones, which is a relic right in the dead center of the map, seems to have been emulated a little bit here for our Arabia spawn. 0 kills apiece as both players try to get some kind of vision, some kind of scouting, some kind of something getting done here on the other sides of the map. Expeditionary forces have been sent out. House needs to start being built here. There's no point in giving up repairing this one palisade if you can only get your house up to 50 HP, but no, never mind. It's up to 400 and so forth. So Mr. Yo bringing no fewer than 5 villagers. A sixth of his economy has just wasted its time, and now it's going to gather food off of one farm, and now he's done as well. So he's heading home. Viper's kind of finished for the moment as well, and Monsieur has carved himself a little tiny nook with a pretty open forward portion of his base. And looks like we're going to get to see a nice Lithuanian sandwich here. Whose micro will prevail? Will it be the scouts of the Italian? Will it be the spearmen of the Lithuanian? What is the, is it 0.96? Okay. Why did I think it was 0.99? Maybe because I'm kind of stupid and don't remember a million things at once. But in any event, army counts 11 to 9. Villager populations identical. Neither player banking any serious resources, although Mr. Yo does have 350 food. Nowhere close to having the gold needed. Somebody's going to die here, right? You got to imagine that someone's going to die here. It's either going to be a spearman or a skirmisher. Watch it be a... Oh, no, it is a spearman. Look at that. Oh, is this going to be one of those cool games where I actually managed to call things right for the first time in a million years? 2 spearmen die here. And now the Viper's army leads still 3, but not as bad as it was before. Emergency house going up for Mr. Yo because he is housed, and he's been housed for 10-15 seconds. The last thing you want to be when you're trying to pump out military to stop this big Lithuanian push. A push that comes with fletching, by the way, is housed. And 2 skirmishers lie dead. More units are dying. Another skirmisher. Spearman, resting on 0 laurels here with 0 kills, decides to take a little break And that's exactly why he wanted to take the break, because he knew the second he would move forward that he would basically be dead. As his fresh recruit moves forward. Looks like the Viper has lost his scout. Mysterio still does have 2 of them. So mobility is in favor of our Italian, as the Americans would like to pronounce it. And remember, by the way, that Mysterio does not need 500 food to go up to Feudal Age. He doesn't need 800, 200 to go up to Castle. The Italians pay 15% less. And so to go up to Castle Age, 680 food, which he almost has, and 170 gold, which he definitely does have. And there you go. You see him clicking up already. So it is a nifty feature. The Byzantines obviously get a massive 1/3 discount when they go up to Imperial, but that only applies to Imperial, whereas the Italians are Feudal, Castle, and Imperial. So I leave it up to the brainier folk, the more mathematically inclined, to see who actually saves more resources on the whole. Probably the Italians, I would imagine, but again, when I try to do math on the fly, when it's not a simple, hey, what's 5 + 2? Then sometimes I don't really get it too correct. Where are the 3 scouts, by the way, for our Italian? Looks like one might be here in the center of the map, hanging out next to the relic with its massive 5 HP. There's another one with 5 HP as well. Oh, I bet you wish you were a Georgian scout. If there was ever an official soundtrack to Age of Empires, one of the tracks would be, I bet you wish you were a Georgian. One skirmisher stands in the way of this massive Lithuanian force. Viper is about 30 seconds behind his opponent going up to the next age. He's getting them gold mining upgrades. He's getting forging as well. So he is planning some kind of melee transition, if I had to guess. You can take a look at the infrastructure. He's plopping down a stable, very aggressive stable there, in the right dead center of the map. And both players, happy to waste a little bit of time, relax their fingers as they go up to the next stage. Let's see what the Viper has back home. Absolutely nothing, so no surprise he's built his stable right here. Looks like a few more skirmishers have died. Mysterio, for his part, an extra TC. 0 villagers on stone, rather, for both players. And the battle continues. Mysterio doesn't seem very interested in upgrading anything at the moment. Both players on basic skirmishers. 2 knights for our Italian. And a 3rd town center going up next to the stone. So he is claiming some resource patches here. As is the Viper, by the way. 2 TCs in the back of his base. 1 for the stone, 1 for the wood. Not terrible. 41 villagers for our Lithuanian, 38 for our Italian. Army counts basically identical. You're basically looking at them right now. As a knight moves in, sees the TC, starts getting attacked by that TC, and now getting attacked by 2 knights of the Italian as well. I'm curious to see whether or not the Viper mutually assured destruction here. Skirmisher versus skirmisher, I'm realizing, is it's like nuclear mutually assured destruction. I kill you, you kill me, except the nukes are very, very weak. And they have almost no blast radius. Oh, but the first villager kill of the game going to this knight here, who manages to snipe an errant woodpecker here. Another knight. Wow, why is the Viper just streaming in individual knights? Is he just trying to block Mysterio from getting relics? Because if you know Mysterio, if you watch his games, are familiar with his play, you know when it comes to relic gathering, he is an absolute beast. He, by the way, does not see the stable that's literally right here on top of his head. If these were Frankish knights with extra line of sight, maybe he would see it. Probably would have, because I think it's +2 line of sight, and that to me looks like 2 tiles. How many relics has the Viper seen, by the way? Oh, he's seen the one further away, and he's going for it with this monk. He's seen the one in the center, of course. And will he get 1, 2? A third needed? A third needed? Oh, the world's luckiest monk here, or maybe not. The Viper collapses on the knight, on the monk rather, but does not save. And man, it is so hard to micro against the micro of a scout. A well microed scout is nigh impossible to protect against. It is just a ridiculous unit. It's so freaking fast, especially in the Castle Age. Okay, now that it's a light cavalry unit, it's a little bit slower. The Viper has not seen the relic that's literally on the doorstep. He also hasn't seen this relic I'm starting to get a little worried for our Lithuanian because Mysterio already has one relic. The Viper's going to get this one, right? As Mysterio's monk saw the dot disappear on the minimap, immediately turns around. All right. Well, there you go. The Viper says, nice skirmisher. I'll take it. Looks like another monk died here to another light cavalry. Okay, now he sees the relic. So the Viper's going to have 2 relics, assuming he can make it home safe with monk left, monk right. Meanwhile, the center of the map, lots and lots of yellow and blue dots around the map. I love that he's sending light cav as opposed to knights now. Might want to get husbandry on this unit to make it move a little bit faster. Oh my goodness, 1 light cav is enough to force the garrison of all of these villagers. A 4th TC going up for our Italian as well. At the same time, his skirmishers are being annoying, but taking on I was going to say a full-grown knight, but you're not really that full-grown. You're missing bloodlines, you're missing armor upgrades, you have 40 HP, but 40 HP is enough when the skirmisher attacks on a 3 and you have 2 pierce armor. He chases, he gets the kill. It looks like... Oh, the Viper was so close! It looks like he was so close to coming home with that relic. He does have 2, though. So right now, the Viper with 2 relics is basically on par with Blast Furnace for his heavy cavalry units. And sending villagers to do what exactly here? Are the villagers for an honor guard? Oh, look at this. No more shenanigans, says the Viper as he plops down a bunch of wood. What is it, 90 wood? Wow, okay. Fun maneuver out of him. Little does he know that the light cavalry are in the center of the map. They get a spearman, they get a monk, they run away. Another monk dies here, this time Mr. Yo's monk. And this relic is going to be the last contested relic. Relic gotten, gates destroyed, mining camp up, quarry underway. Hello. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, you might want to head home there. Your knights need that attack. Right now they're at a +3 because he does not have iron casting. If he had iron casting, they'd be at a +4. If he had this relic, they'd be at a +5, which, if you think about it, is a pretty ridiculous Castle Age stat. A lot of people, when they think about the Lithuanian relic boost, they think, you know, oh, okay, for the late chai, that they can go up to 22 attack. For the paladins, up to 20 attack, I believe. But the real, I shouldn't say the real, one of the big, one monk down, but loses a trash unit for it. One of the big, important, sometimes overlooked factors here is that you can gather 4 relics in the Castle Age. And if you can gather 4 relics and get iron casting on your knights, you have a unit that attacks on a 16 in the Castle Age. A cavalry unit that attacks on a 16 in the Castle Age. With 120 HP. Mobile. With husbandry, which it looks like the Viper finally does have. So don't get tunnel visioned about the ultimate end game of the unit. Castle Age is a fantastic time to be a Lithuanian knight. Not a fantastic time to be a Lithuanian monk. Who's kidding who? Their lifespan is perhaps not the longest. Let's see. Vision here going to the blue monk, but he drops the relic, attempts the conversion. Unfortunately for him, he's got almost no HP at all. Looks at those Lithuanian spearmen, fast as they are, couldn't walk fast enough. Power walking, I'm not too sure if that's an Olympic sport. I think it's some kind of competitive sport is power walking. I'm not sure it's in the Olympics or not, but Mysterio's got enough stone for not 1 but 2 castles. And we are going a whole bunch of upgrades. Mysterio's an Imperial. The Viper is still en route. Does not want to get housed. Our Italian, the Viper, wants to protect the stone here. Okay, so he is protecting the stone because he wants castles. He wants castles because he wants Lechai. And let's frickin' see it. At the same time, we're getting Genoese crossbows. Now, the base model comes with a +5 attack bonus. Ooh, I guess there was a conversion here. I saw something flicker on the minimap, but now I see there's nothing. The Viper does have 3 relics. He's not going to get 4. But 3 isn't... It's not great, but you know what? It's better than 2. 2 is, like I said, just gives you Blast Furnace. Whereas 3 at least gives you an extra attack over Blast Furnace. So yeah, he's going late chai. I believe the base bonus is 5 against cavalry, and then that jumps to 7 if we're lucky enough to see the elite. And both players kind of hanging out. Mysterio roiding up his economy, his ranged units, his monks. Bloodlines. Why is he getting bloodlines right now? I mean, he's got 5 light cav, 5 knights, sure, but it seems like he's transitioning to ranged units. No, he's got no upgrades on melee at all. He's getting bracer. So he's definitely going ranged. I guess he just wants to add a little bit. Bloodline's not exactly the most expensive upgrade, which, by the way, take a look at this now on Capture Age. I didn't know this existed. You can just look at the various costs. So, for example, I literally don't need to know anything anymore about this game. Uh-oh. Raiden's is starting here. These light cav already have bloodlines. They already have husbandry. One of them did die, I believe, to the TC. Nope. Probably the Genoese crossbow. Nope. Not that one, at least. And look at how quick these scout units do die. Emergency castle. The Viper sees it with his knight, sees it with the bombard cannon, immediately begins his barrage, and in come a few Lechai. I'm not too sure this is going to get the job done. One gets converted. Oh, that's so sour. One gets converted, and I think he saved both monks. They're going after the siege unit, but they don't get it. Their armor ignoring attack does not ignore the armor of a siege unit like the bombard cannon. And so if it did, it would be dead. But because it doesn't, that BBC is still very much alive and thrusting straight into the Viper's base here. But we'll see how long it stays. Absolute bedlam here. The Viper's losing a lot of light cavalry, but to be fair, did manage to get one of the BBCs. Treb here protected by the castle. Not too sure how Mysterio plans on dealing with that unless he moves forward the bombard cannon, in which case he might be a little exposed to any kind of light cavalry on by Laitis rather does manage to get 2 villager kills, it looks like, before the Genoese get him. 3 kills for them. I like that Mysterio's leaving a few of them behind. This is, like I said, one of the coolest. No one's got anything on the Mameluke, but this is one of the coolest anti-cavalry units in the game. I wish they would turn around so that we could see their big Pavis shield as they just rest. Another castle here to the south. Not too sure what it's protecting. Not much. Might as well just put it here next to the gold if you're interested in protecting your gold. Villagers repairing castle on either side of the conflict. 2 trebs to 4. But the Genoese crossbow count is starting to grow. He's going up to elite Genoese crossbow, but redemption, bracer, thumb ring. Are we going to get to see skirmishers? Yes. A fantastic move out of the Viper. An absolute baller move. Do we have Pavis? No, we don't. If I'm not mistaken, and now that I can check, by the way, Pavis does cost less than the final armor upgrade for the archers, right? Wood 200 gold, 150. I think it's 250 gold. Where are you? Yeah, 250 gold, 250 food. So 500 resources to 350. So I'm assuming Pavis is going to be on the menu here. By the way, both castles down, because why the hell not? And in comes the skirmisher army. Tower shields also, by the way, not an expensive upgrade for the Lithuanian who might want to get them. Get it, rather. 1 treb fall, 2 treb fall, 3 treb fall. 1 knight gets converted. Why did he not try to reconvert the latest? I'm not too sure. Looks like the knight didn't really do much there. I feel like he was just kind of standing around while the skirmishers got the kill. How much is tower shields? Okay, gold-wise, not expensive. Food a little bit more, and there's Pavis. So because of the cost of the upgrade, generally you get that before the final armor upgrade for your archers. And by the way, this applies to condottieri as well. It does not apply to skirmishers, though. So if, as the Italians, you are going skirmishers, it makes more sense to get the final blacksmith upgrade. But if you're going pure Genoese crossbow, which I don't blame the Italian for doing, seeing as how the Viper has shown him nothing but cavalry, and now we're going winged hussars as well. How many stables for our Lithuanian? Only 6. I don't know. If you're going spam, might as well go spam. Another castle falls for our Lithuanian. Now, I don't know if this is going to hurt the Viper because he seems to be training a lot more winged hussars than he is training Lechai at the moment. He doesn't have a single latest left. And this is just going to be a disaster. Look at the Genoese just pick these units off. This is just a disaster for the Viper. He needs to engage into these elite skirmishers. He needs to get them the hell out of here. Italians, by the way, do have hussars as well, so it's not like they're any more disadvantaged. Oh, but a bit of a side swipe here. We'll get one Treb. Ooh. And our Italian has his first winged hussar of the game. 29 Genoese crossbows are absolutely going to make mincemeat out of these light cavalry units. And pardon me, where the hell are all the skirmishers of the Viper? I apologize. I missed the entire destruction. I was so focused on the attack on the Trebs here that I missed the fact that the Viper is now going hand cannoneers against a civilization that has condottieri. Remember, the condottieri against gunpowder is a 20 HP swing. They have 10 extra armor against you, and they have 10 extra attack against you. Treb surrounded. Treb falls. It looks like a converted Genoese was being beaten there. Army count for the Viper is not great. 27 to 47. He's ahead villagers, but he's losing castles. A third castle falls. How many? I was going to say, how many stables does he still have? He still has 6 stables, which is not great. Ouch. And Mr. Yo with the Italian counter army here. The Genoese crossbow. If you're wondering why I call these units Ninja Turtles, just look at them from behind. Tell me that doesn't look like a giant Leonardo. Leonardo was the blue one, right? Man, at 41, I've forgotten a lot of things from my childhood. Yeah, I think Leonardo was the blue one, right? Donatello was the purple. Raphael was red. Michelangelo was orange. Yes, there you go. Well, welcome to Nostalgia of Empires. And now Mr. Yo is doing what Mr. Yo does best, which is thief the relics. Not that the Viper needs the relics anymore, to be honest. Aside from the gold they generate, he doesn't have any late chai. He doesn't have any heavy cavalry left at all. He's got one knight who's been here to the south for the longest of times. And now his 2... Actually, yeah, he does have 2 late chai, but they have discovered that there's a castle here. Okay. So no more side swipes, at least in this part of the map for our Lithuanian. But the real story is 1, 2, 3, down go the castle dominoes, and he's only got 6 stables. As good as 6 stables sounds, you want probably double that if your opponent is already cracked into your base, has a counter unit that I believe does 7. Yeah, plus 7 against cavalry. And again, you are not the Lachitic Legacy winged hussar of the Poles. You attack on an 11, which to be fair is the same as a normal hussar with blast furnace, right? So aside from 5 extra HP and 1 extra melee armor, yeah, not a real advantage here for the Viper going these beautiful, don't get me wrong, winged hussars, some of the most beautiful units in the game. But unfortunately, yeah, this is a bit too much. And he loses his entire skirmisher force, which means these Genoese are free to run amok. He's losing his castles. His center has been cracked. And by the way, the center where his stables are. And these Trebs are very close. You know, the next target, once this... I'm assuming they're aiming for the Treb and not the house. Once this Treb falls, or whatever happens to this Treb, I'm assuming the Genoese are going to get it, or probably not the Trebs, who's kidding who. They're going to target down the stable, and then they're going to target down another and another and another until the Viper has no means of producing any kind of army. His settlement expansion to the south is very pretty. It's very agricultural and economic. He's even got a single castle, but there's nothing here. There's 1 stable. And so there's literally nothing here. Or maybe Mysterio will go after the monastery. But for now, it doesn't matter what Mysterio could have, would have, should have done. He has cracked open the center, destroyed 3 castles, and with the again, like I said in the beginning of the game, the intro, one of the coolest anti-cavalry units in the game, and the Viper with one of the coolest cavalry units in the game. What a absolute banger of a game. But Mysterio from early on dictating the pace. Maybe not early on, maybe in the mid game. Early on, the Viper was pressing into this base. Where was it? Somewhere here. Oh no, my apologies. It was here. When Mysterio built these 2 houses in the palisade. So the Viper was putting on some good pressure, but then the Monk War erupted. The Viper did manage to get 3 relics to 2, but then after that, I don't know, he threw away a few too many Lechai, chasing into monks and chasing into Genoese. I'm curious to see Mysterio's conversion count, because I feel like it's going to be I don't know, 15 or so, but that might just be me. Hussars to Hussars, basically similar numbers. Genoese crossbows, skirmishers, and spearmen. Did he get tower shields at the end? No, he didn't. Again, with tower shields and with all of the armor upgrades, that takes the elite skirmisher pierce armor to 10. And the Genoese crossbow attacks on a 10, which means they do 1 damage, 1 HP of damage to your unit. And weak as it is with 35 HP, that still means you need 35 Genoese crossbows to one-shot, whereas you come with a nice attack bonus against archers +4. So yeah, you do the math. Either way, a fantastic unit, the Lithuanian skirmisher, when fully upgraded. PKPM halfway through, PKPM a few minutes after that. Surprised that Mysterio doesn't have... Whenever Mysterio's PKPM is not the first 11 seconds of the game, I feel like he wins. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to introduce a hypothesis. If blah, 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 then blah, 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 or whatever the hypothesis is. But let's, silliness aside, trash resources going to the Lithuanians, scarce to the Italian relic gold as well, not really playing much of a role. At the end of the day, the economy's fairly identical. Both players had decent villager counts, 9 conversions each. That is fantastic, but here's the real number, 12 raises to 1. And at the end of the day, how many kills? Villager kills again, yeah, not really playing a role. The Viper ends the game with 153 villagers and a good amount of bankroll, 1,300, 1,500, 1,400 gold, 400 stone. The problem is, where are you going to spend it? What are you going to do? How many archery ranges? 7 archery ranges and 6 stables. And Mysterio's already here. Yeah, it's very hard. Maybe he could have stuck around for a little bit, clumped up maybe 15 or 20 elite skirmishers. But then, you know what? You're facing off against an Italian Hussar, which is a pretty damn good Hussar, even though it's still a minute away from Blast Furnace. So Mysterio just has the counter to everything. And again, I'm questioning the Viper's decision to add a few hand cannoneers. I get why he did it. Why the hell not? You've got the resources for it. It's a very powerful unit, but Mysterio's not training infantry. And so the attack bonus doesn't really come into play. Plus, Mysterio has the perfect counter unit in the Condottiero. And ultimately, the Viper loses about 60 more units than his opponent on the whole. His base has been cracked. 1, 2, 3 castles fall. His military industrial complex is good. It's not great. And even with all the villagers, even with all the resources, you cannot put together, what is it? All of the Viper's men and all of the Viper's resources couldn't put the Humpty Dumpty base together again. And it has just been cracked right in the center. And all of the military industrial buildings are now in jeopardy. And cracked in the center, the southern half is in jeopardy as well. And perhaps if the Italians didn't get Hussar, maybe the Viper would have stuck around. But with Hussars, there's just no longevity to this unit. And without this unit, you can't counter this unit. And without countering this unit, you can't do anything with this unit. And so I think the Viper knows he's sees a few steps ahead. And even though he's got a couple of trebs and a castle still up, he discovers this one a little bit too late. Taps out, lives to fight another day. But truly GG in a very fun-paced game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.